What's up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist here with
Gersh1,
and we're back at it to answer your questions in another episode of For the Greater.
Whoa. This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. And that is what Pickle Rick did. He asks, if Angron would never receive Butcher's Nails, or the Big E would never send the Astartes to save his son from Locos, would that have turned him into a brilliant warrior along with the Legion, or still going traitor? So, yeah.
Go ahead.
So Angron's thing is, even with the Butcher's Nails, or even without the Butcher's Nail, he was extremely aggressive. His whole thing was melee because
he was a gladiator.
Yeah, and he was like the whole purpose of that Legion was to be a Legion of aggression. Because when you think of a military, when you think of like a military arm, they're aggressive. Like, you have to be aggressive.
And their names were freaking the Warhounds.
Yeah.
Like, you unleash the dogs of war.
So he was already, he already had a predisposition to be what he
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fighter, the brute.
Now, would that have turned him into a traitor? Or would that have turned him into a loyalist if he didn't have the Butcher's Nails, and if the Emperor wasn't a dick and just like teleported him out while all his friends died?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that he wouldn't be a traitor. Because like, even though it is aggression,
he could point that aggression to where it needs to be.
Yeah,
instead of just all over the place.
Like the Space Wolves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think that'll make them too close to the Space Wolves, which is a really great idea to give him the Butcher's Nails and all this. Because it points his anger at the Emperor. And at that time, I don't think there was a Space Marine Primarch that was mad at the Emperor, right? Everybody pretty much respected him.
Yep.
Or they knew, like, oh, you know, this is the guy, the dude.
But except for, I think it's Mortarion. Mortarion always felt like he was... Yeah. The Emperor didn't really care about him.
Right, that's true. But, like, he wasn't, like, trying to kill him, though.
Right. Oh, and then, what's his name? The Night Hunter?
Well, he knew who he was.
Yeah, he knew that the Emperor would... He would die because of the Emperor, or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, he also goes on to say, also, when was the time period when they changed armor color scheme from white to blue into red and gold brass color scheme?
Oh.
That was, I think, after the Dropsite Massacre.
Yeah, I believe so. Because, at Isavan, they still had their blue and white color scheme.
Yeah.
Which, in my opinion, is really awesome. I like that color scheme.
That's cool. Yeah. There you go. Next question.
Basically when they turn full chaos.
Yeah, basically.
Bless thee.
Thank you. Next question comes from the Bomb Dan Show. If enough time was spent in the warp, could the Emperor be found and communicated with? No?
Because the warp is, like, never ending. It's, like, timeless, and there's no real space. I don't know, it's always shifting.
Yeah, if anything, I think the Emperor would try to find you if you enter the warp. Like he probably is doing with Drago.
It's like if you're lost, like if you go to like a big crowded place and you're lost, is it better to try to find your way or to just stay there and wait for help? That's like the kind of concept you gotta think about.
Yep. Next time you're lost in the warp.
Wolf of Rebellion. That's a pretty cool name. Are Tau prone to chaos corruption since they all have very little presence in the warp? I've never heard of a chaotically corrupt Tau, but I feel like it is possible, but it probably won't happen because that's the Tau's thing. Like, there's no psychers there. They deal very little with warp things. Like the most big thing that has to do with the warp is like they fight chaos demons. But like, yeah, I don't think the Tau will get chaotically corrupted, because like that's a pretty cool idea to have like things get corrupted by chaos, like Space Marines and whatnot. But if you start giving that thing to every race, having like corrupted Necrons, corrupted Tyranids, I feel like it kind of makes a special cool thing kind of generic. So
yeah, that's not to say though that a chaos cult can't hire like Tau or work with the Tau. Yeah.
Because like the Tau have worked with like the Dark Eldar before they knew, you know, what the Dark Eldar were.
Yep. Yeah. Next question comes from Bradley Hickman. Primaris Reavers or Space Marine Scouts. Reavers look more badass.
Yeah, because they got that little like ghost mask. And I never liked the look of scouts. Gameplay wise, I never liked what scouts did. I mean, yeah, I understand they're training to be Space Marines, but it never appealed to me. So I'll go with the Reavers just because they're less scout-like.
Yeah. Next one.
Shadow Butcher. Due to gradual decline in gene seed quality over time, did the Space Marines shrink? And do you think that's why Primaris Marines are taller and better? And what were the Primaris Marines made with? And did they train the good old-fashioned way that the Space Marines trained in 30K? So first question.
If you want to believe that, sure, right?
Yeah, I mean, because like, I don't think they've gone that in-depth with the whole gene seed deterioration thing. Like, yeah, you've got flaws in the gene helix and whatnot, but like, I don't think they've specifically said that over time they got shorter or they weakened or their acid spit isn't as strong. Yeah, they spit acid. So I mean, it would make sense, but I don't think that's like an official thing. But I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. And then what was the other part?
Did the Primaris train the way that Space Marines trained back in 30K, or how are they so battle ready coming out of their chambers and whatnot?
Yeah, they've had doctrines. I'm pretty sure that it's influenced by the Codex Astarte, though, because Belisarius Cawl had all that information as he was progressing with his like creation of these guys.
Right.
It would make sense that he would educate them in the way that battle is done now, or in the current 40K.
And after all, Gilliman is pretty much leading them in his crusade. So to have a freaking force of Space Marines that's not compliant to the Codex Astarte being led by the guy who made the Codex Astarte would be kind of weird.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Good question.
Next question comes from Michael Howell. Since some weapons can be imbued with Chaos Demons, can an Imperial Saint or Angel be captured into a weapon?
I don't think so.
No.
They're fundamentally different than demons, not like saints and stuff like that.
There are holy relics, though. So, next question.
You got one? I got one.
Yeah.
Snuggle Moogle. During the Horus Heresy, which loyal legion would you prefer join Horus? Yeah, we covered this one. But I said make the Emperor's children loyalists, and you said
Salamander's evil.
Yep.
Next question comes from Mr. Spaceman. Ooh. Does Chaos have healthcare benefits and or packages? Yes.
In a way, yeah.
They probably have the best, because not only do they protect you from, incidences or death, they protect you after death.
Especially if you join Nurgle. It's like, yeah, you got all these diseases, but you're cool with it.
Yeah, you got maggots coming out of your eyes, but you're not dead.
Hey, that Space Marine just cut your arm off, but now you can cut his.
Yeah.
NDW. Do you guys think that orcs will ever be extinct? If so, how?
No.
Nah, orcs are like
the most numerous creatures. Their empire's not the biggest, but yeah.
It does make sense. How is their empire not the biggest, but there's the most?
Because they clump together.
Like
ants. Like, have you seen the Circle of Death? The ants' Circle of Death thing? They just...
That is a circle.
That's what orcs do. Next question.
Oh, same guy. Do you think more Primarchs will return?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Because money.
And sculpts. I want to see them sculpts.
Scoops.
And last question by Hendy. Which is better in the tabletop? An orc army or a Tau army?
Orc.
Yeah, there is the list where it's like you bring batches of 30 boys with weird boys and you just teleport them anywhere on the map and they just wreck stuff.
Yep, first turn you're already in the front lines.
And this is coming from a freaking codex that hasn't been updated in how many years? Well, I mean, they got like 8th edition rules, but like...
I guarantee you that they're going to make the weird boys weaker.
They're probably going to give you like a restriction like they did to the Tau commanders. Yeah.
That's stupid. And last question. From Gelgamath. Can a craft world travel through the webway? Yes, there are webway portals that are big enough to
house these massive constructs of craft worlds.
Yes. And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, comment down below. Put a question in front of your question, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yep, this is the Sound Alchemist.
Gersh 1.
And we are out of here.